the last round.
Pacquiao begins to cut loose a little bit. Perhaps sends Sanchez to a neutral corner. And he may be injured.
The year was 2001. A young talent from the Philippines, 22-year-old knockout artist Manny Pacquiao, shocked the world when he claimed the IBF super bantamweight title with his unmatched power and speed. Pacquiao became an overnight sensation, a national hero and the sole world champion from the Philippines. But with glory comes challenges. Enter Agapito Sánchez from the Dominican Republic, the WBO champion, and a seasoned veteran of countless grueling battles.
Agapito Sánchez!
Known as El Ciclón, Sánchez wasn't famous for his technical skills, but for his dirty tactics. And that reputation was well earned. He had mastered the art of turning a fight into chaos, breaking not just his opponent's body, but also their will. On November 10, 2001, in the heated atmosphere of San Francisco, Pacquiao and Sánchez faced off in a unification bout. It was a clash not just of two champions, but of two contrasting boxing philosophies. For Pacquiao, it was a stepping stone on his path to greatness. For Sánchez, it was a last chance to prove that he was still a formidable force. This night was supposed to be a celebration of boxing. Instead, it made history for entirely different reasons.
But it's been all celebration up to this point. Most guys.
The first round unfolds with relative calm as the opponents carefully study one another, exchanging cautious jabs. At first glance, it feels like a standard boxing match, but beneath the surface, tension steadily builds. There's an unshakable sense in the air that something extraordinary is about to happen.
Get at him now, Pacquiao. Now it's Sanchez who takes ring, George. 20 feet or more. Lots of room for Sanchez to try to make himself elusive if he chooses to use it.
Well, I think Sanchez just needs to fight.
Sanchez lands
Can't
a jab.
fight short opponents. He's got to wade in and just wade in with uppercuts.
As he waits to throw punches, and Sanchez seizes his opening.
That's going to cause some problems.
Sanchez with a looping left hook to Pacquiao's ear.
Good uppercut this time by Pacquiao.
Pacquiao with the uppercut. Sanchez doubles up the jab and lands a right hand up the middle and fires the jab a couple more times. And a good little rally by Agapito Sánchez, who's given better than he's gotten so far in round one. Sanchez with a straight left hand.
And he's kind of turning it under that time. He was almost a slight uppercut as that one was. He decided to stop the right straight hand and just bring him underneath a little bit.
Couple of right hands up the middle by Sanchez. Both fighters have found the openings, working straight up the pipe, going between their opponent's fists to make contact. So round one comes to a close as we go to Sanchez's corner where they speak Spanish. Our interpreter is the familiar Ray Torres. When we go to Pacquiao's corner where they speak Tagalog, our interpreter is Ernie Kalua.
The second round begins, igniting chaos in an instant. Sanchez suddenly closes the distance, leading to a clash of heads.
The good thing about the last round, Pacquiao sent Sanchez to his corner hurt.
Headbutt, big cut, right over the right eye of Pacquiao. Blood spurting from the cut.
This fight may not go to a conclusion.
Blood immediately trickles from above Pacquiao's right eye, and he staggers back. The referee halts the fight and directs Manny toward the ringside doctor. Every eye in the audience locks onto the tense scene unfolding in the corner. The doctor leans in, examining the cut with care. For Filipino fans, time seems to stop. Could this be the abrupt end of the bout? After what feels like an eternity, the doctor signals for the fight to continue. A bloodied Manny tightens his gloves and steps back into the ring. With the clock ticking against his bleeding wound, Pacquiao knows he now fights a race against time.
Now, he's in with Sanchez is a good boxer. got his balance right. He makes you miss, and he pays you back.
And Sánchez lands a vicious straight left hand on the eye that Pacquiao is having difficulty with. And another left, right on the cut. And now Pacquiao begins to cut loose a little bit. Perhaps I don't think he can see it all out of the right eye. And that's what Sánchez is taking advantage of right now with his left hand.
As I said earlier,
Letterman, what are the rules in California if a fight is stopped on an accident because of an accidental butt?
Is raking that eye with his left hand.
Not only that, he's got Sánchez right now acting like a duck, a sitting duck coming right in front of him. And because of the height disadvantage at this point for Pacquiao, he can't duck.
Break, let him up, let him up.
Sometimes the extra height is a disadvantage.
Manny Pacquiao's in unfamiliar territory and doesn't know what to do about it.
You must lower your hands to hit Sánchez. When you do, he's going to get you.
By the third round, the dynamic of the fight shifts dramatically. Sánchez begins deploying his controversial and underhanded tactics. Right at the start of the round, he lands a blatant low blow on the Filipino fighter.
And now there's a low blow by Sánchez right on Pacquiao's cup. And Marty Denkins and Sánchez...
leaving Manny grimacing in pain but determined to fight on. However, Sánchez doesn't stop there. Instead, he doubles down, incorporating even dirtier tactics that shock the crowd.
Sánchez is going right at the target, and Pacquiao's starting to get wild.
I said earlier that he could be a blood bank for the featherweight division, but I didn't realize it would be his own blood.
Stop!
Pacquiao, there you go. Even though you're going to hit him in the chest a lot of the time and miss the head, you must continue to throw him in that fashion because Sánchez is down there. He's not upstairs.
Stop! Break!
Just relax. They stop the bleeding. Pacquiao could be right back in the control of things if.
Break! Stop!
But given the location of the cut, George, which is under the brow, at the top of the eyelid, how much chance they can actually stop the flow of blood?
That's what we want to look for. Stop the blood. This guy can get his aggression going because there's a little pain and stinging that goes along with being hit with those shots once you've been cut like that.
He's upset.
They can get that control. You make Sánchez just start protecting himself. Right back in control.
Pacquiao landed that left uppercut and now fires the left over the top. He's starting to reach Sánchez a little bit with his punching power. Sánchez very sturdy.
Break! Stop!
We mentioned all of those top-rated featherweights who fought Sánchez. None of them ever knocked him down.
1 point. Limpio. Por favor. Limpio.
Dinkin deducting a point from Sánchez for pushing Pacquiao's head back.
Before the fourth round begins, the referee gathers both fighters in the center of the ring, sternly warning them to adhere to the rules. But Sánchez has no intention of slowing down. He continues his dirty play, repeatedly breaking the rules and eventually losing another point. Manny, visibly furious, channels his anger into his performance.
Was a 10-8 round in favor of Manny Pacquiao. It makes it 28-28, all even in rounds, 2 rounds to 1, Sanchez, but it's the points we go by.
So when you have a guy who's regarded as having terrific talent, it's always interesting to see him try to adjust to adversity. Pacquiao now battling unusual circumstances and the deficit of a big cut over his right eye and trying to adjust in such a way as to show growth as a fighter. And just in the last couple of rounds, George, he seems to have gotten a better feel for what he needs to do.
Yeah, but he's still falling over the back of his shorter opponent in his stature. He's got to bring those punches up or he's going to find himself bleeding again. Sanchez is very conservative. He only takes what he can see. Doesn't go after anything more than what he can see. And he's determined to hit below the belt. Never seen anything like it.
Another low blow.
And we may see a disqualification in United Kelsey. Now the uppercuts are coming in from Pacquiao. Coming up.
And
once you start that, Sanchez does not have any defense for those punches.
And though the blood is flowing, Pacquiao seems less troubled by it than was the case in round 2.
Pacquiao, if he comes up with a couple of combinations, I'm telling you, you can see a different fight within no time flat.
This is a Pacquiao response, I believe, to a low blow. And he may be injured.
He also is hit on the back of the neck.
He hit him right below the belt also. That's that leg.
5 minutes, Manny. Get up. I don't want you to lose. 5 minutes.
He gets 5 minutes here to recover from
Get up, though.
the foul which has taken place, but I'm not certain that Pacquiao isn't in some way injured in the leg or the hip.
Yeah, I think that's true, that it may be indeed the hip.
Relax.
Now there may be blood streaming from the left eye now of Sanchez as well.
Why is Pacquiao walking around stiff-legged and hip injured like this, George?
He's been hit below the belt more than twice, maybe 3 times around that area.
Ready?
The next thing you know, it just takes it out of you, and it kind of sneaked up on him.
How much time?
He's obviously very angry about what's taking place.
And the referee it seems not to notice these shots below the belt.
From him.
Let's take another look at what happened here.
Last one.
Yeah, that right.
That hurts, and then he hits him on top of the
Then he
head.
hits him behind the head, that's right.
You gotta listen. Okay? I know what he's doing, but you gotta listen. Okay?
Denkin trying to reassure Pacquiao that he's up to date on what's going on in the fight.
Two.
And before the
The
fight,
fight also. Es tu limpio. Limpio, por favor. No quieres un disqualification.
well, you heard the words spoken by Marty Denkin, who warned Pacquiao before the round not to retaliate. Pretty tough not to retaliate, George.
But it's strange because the referee has not acknowledged this punch on the leg here that's got this guy gripped.
And Pacquiao goes limping back to work. He didn't take the full 5 minutes either.
Great. Watch your hands.
Goes again, hitting below the belt again. Look, it's just too much.
Boxing is back in San Francisco in a down and dirty brawl.
By the 5th round, Pacquiao unleashes a flurry of his signature, devastating punches, clearly fired up and unwilling to back down. Sanchez, however, continues fighting dirty, ignoring every boundary. At this point, the referee, appearing exhausted from issuing warnings that go unheeded, allows the fight to continue without further interference, even if it means letting the chaos unfold in less than fair conditions.
And Sanchez, it appears, has come here willing to do almost anything to win the fight. And unless the referee is able to do the right job, he could catch a break.
You know, He wants to do anything to win the fight, but you can't do anything and everything to win a fight. There are rules.
Body shots by Pacquiao.
That's the conclusion you come to in the ring, that no one is going to give you anything. Pacquiao is learning the hard way. You want it, you're going to have to fight for it. The referee is not going to give it to you.
Nobody is more committed to clean fighting than you have been, George. In your view, should Sanchez already have been disqualified from this fight?
For a long time. Too many low blows. You're only talking about hurting the fellow, but permanent damage down there.
So in your view, this fight should already have been over with Pacquiao the winner.
And I agree with George.
The referee just not paid any attention. But this is one of those old-fashioned throw it all fights.
Well, this is a fight you would see on the piers of San Francisco.
That's right, exactly. This is San Francisco. The referee just cannot see these low blows.
And there's another one.
Evidently, there should be someone in the corner with the commission trying to supervise some of this.
Superior hand speed in evidence there. Sanchez comes back with a blistering counter right hand. Big action through 5 rounds.
The climax of the fight explodes midway through the 6th round. Pacquiao launches an aggressive offensive, clearly aiming to seal the match in his favor. Sanchez, visibly less active, starts losing his grasp on the fight's momentum. However, chaos erupts in close range when the fighters' heads collide violently once again.
And I give Pacquiao credit for channeling his anger the right way. He has gotten more and more controlled with each passing round instead of more and more out of control.
This is a painful situation for Pacquiao. He's been beaten below the belt, and the blood is dripping out of his face. You wonder how he has the energy to keep doing it.
He's in tremendous shape, according to trainer Freddie Roach. He hasn't had a fighter who is better conditioned than Pacquiao. He gives Pacquiao a day off from the gym. Pacquiao goes out and runs 5 miles and rides the bike for an hour. Can't get him not to work.
Yeah, and to give Pacquiao credit, he could have found a way to get out of this fight before the end of the 4th round and have it called a no contest.
This time, the accidental clash worsens the already serious cut above Pacquiao's eye, sending blood streaming. The referee quickly escorts Manny over for an assessment as the audience holds its collective breath. Pacquiao, his face drenched in blood, protests vehemently, his eyes burning with determination to keep fighting despite the injury. But the doctor shakes his head after a quick evaluation, deeming the cut too severe for the fight to continue. Reluctantly, the referee stops the match in the 6th round, prioritizing the fighter's safety.
The fight is stopped in the middle. They scored a partial round, Jim.
Dinkin doesn't think so.
They do.
All right.
What follows is pandemonium. Trainers, officials, and supporters swarm the ring. Amid the chaos, Pacquiao, visibly distraught, is restrained as he protests the untimely interruption, just as he seemed to be gaining control. On the other side, Sanchez raises his arm in celebration, but the crowd greets his gesture with loud boos, expressing their disapproval of his earlier unsportsmanlike conduct.
Manny Pacquiao.
The tension escalates during the announcement of the decision. Because the fight was halted after the halfway mark, the result falls to the judges' scorecards. After a tense deliberation, their verdict is revealed. One judge scores it 58-54 for Pacquiao, another 57-55 for Sanchez, and the third declares it a 56-56 draw. The technical decision, a split draw. Neither fighter emerges victorious.
56-56. 56. It is a three-way split. The bout is officially declared a draw. Each champion will retain his title belt. The bout is a draw. Each champion retains his belt.
Both retain their respective titles, Pacquiao as the IBF champion, Sanchez as the WBO champion. The resolution leaves a sour taste in the mouths of the San Francisco crowd. The audience, craving either a decisive triumph for the young hero or justice against dirty tactics, instead finds itself drowning in a fog of unresolved tension. Boos and shouts echo across the venue as discontent fills the air. Meanwhile, Pacquiao's loyal fans back in the Philippines, who had risen early to watch their hero, are left furious and bewildered, seeing their champion covered in blood after enduring underhanded tactics. This fight ends with more questions than answers, leaving fans and critics alike yearning for clarity that never came. Manny Pacquiao learned a vital lesson in that fight, not just the art of attacking, but the importance of perseverance in the face of an opponent's dirty tactics. From then on, he and his team became more cautious in selecting referees and preparing for potential foul play. After recovering from his injury, Pacquiao returned to the ring months later, securing an impressive victory by TKO. This win signaled his comeback. Just a few years later, the young Filipino boxer cemented his place among boxing's elite by defeating the legendary Marco Antonio Barrera.
Barrera's corner man is up on the apron. He's going to step into the ring. That's a good decision.
For Agapito Sánchez, the aftermath was far less redeeming. His name became permanently tied to that infamous fight as the champion who resorted to dirty tactics rather than securing an honest win against Manny Pacquiao. After their draw, Sanchez's career spiraled downward. Stripped of his WBO title due to a failed medical test, he later lost his belt to another fighter. His career quietly faded away, ending tragically in 2005 when Sanchez was killed in a street shooting.